All right, so last night I watched that Bird Box movie or whatever that everybody just was making a really, really big deal about. What's wrong with this? Come on now, focus, baby. All right. Um, everybody's like, you have to watch this movie. You have to watch this movie. It's just, it's a blockbuster. Oh my gosh, it's the next best thing versus um freaking Avengers. I'm like, okay, let's see what this is about. Let's see what we're watching here. So me and my wife, we took the time to watch it, and mind you that the rating of the movie is like 5.1, and that's like mediocre. I'd say it's not horrible, but it's like mediocre in the standards of like movies. All right, but so we watched it, and to be honest with you, I really wasn't impressed. I felt like I could have did without watching it. To be honest, it was weird. It wasn't a horrible movie, but it was weird. It was just not something that I would just typically pick to watch, and it's definitely not something that I would watch again because the movie, if you're a believer in Christ, the movie spoke volumes in the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12. And it reads, "For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against rulers of darkness and spiritual wickedness in high places." That verse popped in my head immediately, like around the beginning, like the middle of the movie. Okay, because I was watching it and I was like, I kind of see where this is going, but I'm gonna keep watching it. I'm gonna keep on watching it, and as the movie progressed, and then it finally ended. I'm like, okay, I see what this is about. Okay, so I'm not trying to spoil the movie. If you're somebody who wants to still watch the movie, then you might want to stop watching this story and go watch it for yourself. But I'm going to go ahead and just give you my take on it and what I got from it, okay? Basically, the movie is about, occurrences that are happening, unexplained occurrences that are happening in the world, throughout the entire world. It all began over in Russia, and then it made its way over to the United States. And of course, this movie took place in California. And these happenings are occurring. And to be honest with you, they've been making more and more movies like this. Okay, more and more movies. If you go back in time and you watch the movie The Happening, I think that was with Mark Wahlberg, I believe. That movie, the movie, what's the name of that movie? A Quiet Place. Things like that. It's about entities in which you can't see with your eyes, and they are attacking humans and making humans do things in which they wouldn't do naturally. But in this case, this movie made people suicidal and against their own will. And what I get from it, like I said, from Ephesians 6:12, principalities and powers and rulers of darkness and spiritual wickedness in high places. Spiritual wickedness in high places, heavenly places. Some translations may say heavenly places. Basically, it's spiritual warfare. Okay, the unseen wreaking havoc in the natural. Like, I don't know how this occurred. It never really explained what happened in the movie, but a lot of those cliffhanger movies, but something occurred to where the veil was lifted between the physical and the spiritual realm. And a lot of people don't believe this, but it's the God honest truth. There is a spiritual realm that exists. Like there are demons, there are angels, there are entities in which we can't see with our eyes. And God has made it that way on purpose, because if we did see these things with our eyes, they would make us act a certain way. Okay? Because us being human, us being in the flesh, we can only do so much in the spirit, which is why you should never mess or tamper with things in which are spiritual, so to speak. You have all these people that say things like, well, I'm spiritual this, I'm spiritual that, but you have no idea what you are tampering with. Okay, like you got people that mess with tarot cards, you got people that mess with Ouija boards, you got people that do chantings, what you call them, palm readers, things like that. Like, that's the type of stuff the paranormal will say. That's the type of stuff in which you just don't want to have anything to do with, okay? Because you could be opening yourself up to something demonic that won't leave you alone. I mean, there are hundreds and hundreds and thousands of stories that you can read and look up, and testimonies of people who did things in which they regret, okay? And this movie, Bird Box, basically told me, or it spoke for itself, that this movie is about the spiritual realm, and that it's a spirit of suicide that is causing people to become possessed and to kill themselves, okay? But overall, the movie was not good, and I'm not saying it wasn't good because of that, but it wasn't good because I personally just didn't like it. I just stuck to my guns and just finished the movie since everybody was saying it was so good. So I'm just waiting. I was waiting to see when it was gonna get good, and it just didn't happen. But that's just my opinion, and I didn't like it whatsoever. But anyway, the movie had a message. I just don't think the majority of the world, they got that message.